Mark, I think it's great to see you here at the Masters, laughing, smiling, joking around. What does that tell us about the kind of mood that you're in?
Yeah, I feel like I'm in an okay place, the best place I've been for a little while, you know, but I'm not taking anything for granted because I know it can easily just turn like the same as the game, really. You can go playing really well and then before you know it, next match you don't play as good. So that's the way I'm taking it with my health at the moment, but while I'm in a good place, I'm trying to make the most of it.
It was actually here at the Masters in 2022 that you first opened up about how you were feeling.
Yeah.
And, you know, over the years, how have you learned to sort of manage it? Do you recognise the triggers and can do something more about it now?
Yeah, well, before I was sort of alien to it all, really. I didn't really know what was going on. Obviously, I was having a lot of like low days, but I just thought, you know, it's just everybody has them, you know. Not everyone wakes up like Rob Walker, you know, obviously bouncing around here, there, and everywhere. But you know, and then it sort of all come on top of me. Like you say, at the Masters, I think I was playing Hawkins and lost the game, and after that, I felt like, look, there was something definitely wrong, and I knew I needed to speak to somebody. You know, I thought for me to carry on, if I was to carry on playing, feeling like I felt out there in that environment obviously was not nice. So obviously I knew I was never going to go on and do anything again unless obviously I got some serious help. So I spoke to a friend of a friend, and he'd been going through the same as me many, many years ago and managed to turn it around and come out the other side. He put me onto a doctor who he was speaking to at the time, which was a guy called Dr. Lanka, who works in London, and I was working with him for about 6 months to a year, and he's been brilliant. When you're in the mindset I was, he said it's easier to just think, well, I need to do that tomorrow, but then you wake up and you don't feel great and you just don't end up doing it. You just lock yourself away in the house. So I write things down and obviously try and complete them every day. And then for me, that's like my goal every day, looking forward. And if I can do that, then obviously I know I'm off to a good start.
There have been times when you've been so low that you've just not wanted to be in tournaments, etc. And it seems so different now seeing you here at the Masters. Are you glad that you've managed to carry on and, you know, basically continue playing?
Yeah, for sure, because I know deep down, obviously, I still love the game, you know. Obviously, when things are good and I'm in a decent place and you're playing some good snooker, it's like the best place to be out there, especially in a venue like here in Alexandra Palace. But, you know, I know that it's going to happen again at some point. As I said before, and I've said it plenty of times, the doctor was saying, look, you're never going to overcome it. You just sort of learn to live with it better. And that's what I'm doing at the moment. But I know at some point, obviously, like, I'll probably fall off the wagon again at some point. But hopefully I'm in a better place mentally to be able to deal with it so I don't go as low as what I did before. I think I just appreciate life a lot more, you know. I mean, before I was playing snooker and it was literally like life or death to me. I mean, I was like living and breathing it. If I was losing in the comp, I was going back home, obviously back on the practice table 24/7 and not really having a life outside of snooker, you know. It was just basically taking over my whole life, and having to go through something like what I went through, it sort of makes me realise, you know what, there's more to life than just a game of snooker, you know, and if you haven't got your health, then you've not got nothing. Well,
some of these megastars are actually now normalising taking a break for your mental health.
Yeah.
The gymnast Simone Biles is one of them, Naomi Osaka, tennis player, and Ronnie O'Sullivan, you know, he hasn't played in this tournament. How much more confident do you feel now that if you needed to step away or not play, that you would do that, make that decision for yourself?
Well, I do now at this particular moment. I mean, even still back in April I didn't, because I wasn't in the best place, and I still didn't step away, and I still went to Sheffield knowing how I was. And played in the tournament and sort of wasn't really ready, I suppose. So looking back, if I'm in that position again, then yeah, for sure I will step away and put myself first for a change. Individual sports is very, very tough because there's a lot of pressure out there. You know, once you're out there in that arena, whether it's a snooker venue, a gymnastics place like Simone, you know, you're on your own. And you've got nobody else to turn to at that particular moment in that pressure situation until after the match. You've got your friends and family around you then, but while you're out there, you're on your own. So it's a very tough place for sure.
There is some support available at the moment. There is a player support programme, but I mean, do you think that's not accessible enough, or why do you think players need more than that?
I just think sometimes, for me, I think sometimes you need to have someone on site. I mean, obviously it's all right having that accessibility to do that. But I mean, that's always away from tournaments. If you go and speak to them, sometimes, like, if you're going through what I was going through and what Ronnie was going through, you don't know from day to day how you're going to feel, you know what I mean? I could feel okay today, I could wake up tomorrow and feel absolute rubbish, you know, and then obviously not even want to play and feel really low. So when you're in that position, if that's happening at tournaments, obviously you either have to pull out the tournament and not play or go and speak to this guy after the tournament's finished. Well, you know, if he was there on site, then at least like you could wake up in the morning and think, look, I don't play till tonight. Has he got any availability? Yeah, I can go and see him, even if it's for only half hour. That half hour might be the difference between you carrying on in the tournament or not. I tried to take my own life a couple of times when I was younger. Having lost my dad so young, I didn't know where to turn. I had no one really in my life, like really close enough to sort of bring me back up. And I felt like, you know, it wasn't worth living anymore because he was my idol and role model. So having been since then, obviously for years I never spoke about it, didn't feel like I could. But having since speaking about it, if anyone asks me questions now, I feel as though it's the easiest thing in the world to speak about it. And, you know, being a guy as well, a lot of us are quite embarrassed. We come across quite macho and strong and feel like you can't talk about something like that and you feel like you're showing a weakness. But, you know, if I was to help just one person out there in the world by speaking out, I feel as though I've done my job.